The little musical pipe rested almost hidden in the sand at the bottom of the sea. The pipe had been there for nearly a year, and gradually, day by day, centimetre by centimetre, it was being swallowed by the sea bed. In a day or two, it would be completely covered by sand, never to rise again. But the tip could still just be glimpsed, a little glint of magic in the sand, and if there had been anybody there to see it, other than a shoal of tiny, iridescent fish, they would have noticed that the tip was glowing and vibrating, as if the pipe was trying to speak or sing. Up above, the little fishing boat bobbed its way across the sparkling sea towards Piper's Port. The waves danced around the small vessel as if they were welcoming it back. The boat had been away from Piper's Port for not quite a year, and the fishermen were eager to get home. The skipper, an affable man whose skin was all salt and leather after 40 years of seafaring, turned the wheel towards home, and as he did so, he heard the most beautiful song inside his head, and was overcome by a sudden, inexplicable urge to make one last catch before they reached dry land. Well, why not? He thought to himself. The fishermen would all be happy to return home with a basket of fish so fresh it tasted of the waves. Down on the seabed, the pipe vibrated, and its song grew louder and more insistent. "Lower the nets," he ordered. The fishermen looked surprised by this unexpected command so close to home. A thin, beautiful boy with freckles and the most astonishing emerald eyes ran to do his bidding. "You all right, Kit?" asked the skipper as he watched the boy lower the net with a graceful expertise. Kit nodded and grinned, so his green eyes sparkled as if the sea was in them. "Soon be home, and you'll be able to take a fish with you. The biggest fish that we land will be yours, I promise you. You've worked hard. You deserve it. You can take it home," said the skipper. Kit pondered the word home as he carefully let out the nets. He didn't have a home of his own. He believed himself to be an orphan. If he had ever known his parents, he couldn't remember them. The rackety little fishing boat on which he'd spent the last year had been the closest he had ever had to a real home, even though he knew he would always be welcome at Eden End. Kit smiled as he thought of the impetuous red-haired Storm Eden and her plump little currant-eyed sister Ennie, and his warm heart grew hot as freshly buttered toast as he thought of Aurora, the girl's older sister. Aurora was the most beautiful girl in the world, and even after a year at sea, Kit was more in love with her than ever. He wanted to marry her, but he owned nothing but the clothes he stood up in. He knew that he could never ask her. But he could take her and her sisters a fish. He knew that they would be delighted, as they lived a hand-to-mouth existence.